Wait, what'd you say?
Oh, I was saying, oh, I got
You got the itch, don't you?
maybe we'll hit the tables.
Don't you? Look at you. All right, so we have to go to. We must find a different place that's going to offer us a six-man hyper at this point. We can't keep doing spin and goes. It's an insult to you. All right, forget me. Yeah, trust me, King Tut. I'm with you. After last night's performance on a couple of these videos.
You know what we're talking about today on this show? Horse racing.
Interesting, seeing how the Triple Crown is not this weekend.
No, that's true. There's a FanDuel boost.
Ah. I got to show you screen. Oh, are we live? I got to show you a screenshot of it. Yeah, welcome it. And I got a bone to pick. It's not a beef, all right? It's not like that beef, that bone marrow. Is there anything worse, Ben Rasa, than bone marrow? What is that stuff that you get in the soup? The bone in the soup? It's not bone marrow, but it's bone something, right? Like that's the worst. Is it? No, is it bone broth?
I think it's marrow.
Okay, so maybe it is marrow. Like nothing is worse than that.
I don't know. I like lobster bisque. There's no marrow in that.
Lobster bisque is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, I came on yesterday, was bragging about the NRFIs, was bragging about the parlays and stuff. And you came in and just put this huge, it wasn't even like a wet blanket. It's one of those fireman blankets that you have where you could just throw it on a fire and it extinguishes it. I go 0-3 last night. My parlay busts on the first leg. I didn't even make it out of the daylight before my parlay bust. So thank you for hexing me. And I was the lone defector here in the community parlay because my leg didn't hit. So it was across the board bullshit.
Yeah, not good. But you know what?
I blame you.
I knew you were hurting. I knew that's just not acceptable. So what did I do? We brought you back. Normally Laffy's on the show today, but we got
How did that happen?
I actually have no idea. I messaged Laffy before and he was just like, I'm not on the show. I was like, oh, okay. But you're here, you're ready. Don't worry. It's the NBA Finals tonight. You're in a good headspace. We've got a lot to get to. Men in black it. Just take the little buzzer thing, delete it, and fresh start today.
Well, I had no choice, right? It's not like I called out. It's not like I was like, hey man, you know, I had no choice.
College baseball's tomorrow, so it's going to be a good day no matter what.
Well, we got the WNBA tonight, so depending on what we're doing,
we got horse racing tonight, evening racing at Churchill Downs.
We're going to talk a lot about that. We lost because of Eytan's pick and he blames Ben. I respect that.
That's smart.
Absolutely right. All right. This is America. Have I learned nothing from our leaders?
Yeah. What?
Is it just me that's bouncing around like Max Headroom, or is it okay? Okay, because you remember that old commercial? Pepsi. You remember that, Ben? Are you old enough to remember Max Headroom?
No, I don't know what that is. But now see, I didn't notice that, and now I gotta look up. Okay.
You have to look up Max Headroom. I don't know. That's like the original. You know how we're in chat GPT mode right now, like AI mode, like the infancies of artificial intelligence. The first ever, I think, subliminal messages were sent via Max Headroom, where it was just like, blah, 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 blah. Here's a can of Pepsi. And it was just like, you have to go back and look at that by all means on YouTube or wherever you are following this show. All right. Well, we've got the NBA back. That's the good thing. That's a good thing today. You know, we've got the NBA back. OddsShopper loves a bunch of stuff going on. Already placed some bets, already put them out there. Here is the biggest question that I have for you. All right. I don't care about the side right now for this particular question here. I don't care about the total, Ben. I don't care about, and I'm saying right now for the purposes of this question that I'm going to ask, I don't care about anything else going on right now in this world. Is tonight the night where you're fading Caleb Martin? Because that's the top bet on our board right now. And at some point, it's got to happen, right? Like at some point, this kid's going to have to come back to reality. And our tool, which you can still get a week free below, is saying, you know what? Caleb Martin under 16.5 points is the way to go here.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm not worried about it.
Wow. Okay.
I'm really not. again, let's quantify it. Let's talk about how we're actually doing this. Under 16.5 blindly? Hell no, absolutely not. Under 16.5 at -134, better than -154, which is our break even. Now we're talking. So I look at Caleb Martin tonight. He's moved from 16.5 to 15.5 at basically every book. Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and PointsBet are all at 15.5. So I don't care if he has 70 points tonight. If you're going to tell me that every book says that the over-under is 15.5 and I'm getting 16.5 and not paying that much additional juice, I will roll the dice on a guy that seemingly never misses a shot.
Hey, man, the tool will tell you this is our best play on the board, 20 cents worth of value right there alone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to go against conventional wisdom. It doesn't need to go against the previous series, brand new series. That's going to get you in trouble. Even predictions, like anything like that, projections maybe is the better term here. But if you just look at what somebody did in a previous series and then try to project that out to a new series, finals, on the road, come on. I'm with you. It jumped out, and it's our top play by a little bit, but something to look at there. I know we talked about this. So real quick, before we get back to the NBA, I know we talked about this just off the air, if you will, and this has come up just in conversation about how often it happens. But did you see that? Now, it's at Unibet. So better beware if you're allowed to place this bet even without being limited. But do you see what's popping up there as like our fifth, maybe sixth best play? Over 9 runs for the Reds and Red Sox game. A little rare gem that you see at the top popping up. Now, again, a lot of this is because of where it is at Unibet and the difference of where other books, are. Everywhere else outside of Bet Rivers and Sugar House have moved to 9.5. So that's a nice little edge right there in a market, Ben, that's not really super popular on our tool all the time, like points, rebounds, shots on goal, etc.
Yeah, and again, you got to take those when you can get them. You know, your sample size, if you're drilling down into that type of bet, is going to be super, super limited, and that's just the case. But those are efficient lines. So when you get like a side or a total that stands out at one book, those are the bets that I feel the most confident in.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Totals, sides, those are heavily bet. Those are big markets. Those are efficient, more so than you would find a smaller market. Like Jeff, what do you think's a more efficient market, right? It's rhetorical for you, Ben, but for others, the Cincinnati Reds, Red Sox total, or Jeff Green threes, right? Like it's just a smaller market, less bet. It's less efficient, what have you. Maybe easier to beat, maybe not, depending on where you are and all. But my point being is that you can trust that a number at 9 or 9.5 is probably sharper than not. So the likelihood of it landing on 9, you've now pushed, or the difference between getting your money back versus losing. That's not like, oh, okay, well, everybody else has it. That's close to an NFL type spread, where if you can get something to that difference, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is the ultimate example. Like, the NFL is the sharpest, most efficient. NFL sides is as difficult as it can be, and that is why sharp books, they'll let you bet -105 on both sides. They don't even need the juice barely, because they know. Then take something like college baseball. You're laying like -120 on both sides because the books are not confident in their own lines, and you're going to see a lot of discrepancies within those lines. So I think that's just the nature of it. And when you get those, you definitely want to take advantage, because the market tells the story from props to sides to totals each and every time.
Caleb Martin is the big one that we mentioned there, but there's Michael Porter Jr. under 7.5 rebounds. I want to get back to that Murray one in a second, because I think that you can have some fun with Murray and Jokic, or Murray specifically, because of where it is on the book. But we've got MPJ going under 7.5 rebounds. Jokic over 9.5 assists is also popping. A lot of fading of Jamal Murray, though, right? You see that under 3.5 threes, under 26.5 points. The only over that pops up as far as like a strong one on Denver would be the KCP rebound. So you've got a couple that you can mess around with. And then to a lesser extent, there's some fun plus money ones that we see where you have Max Strus with the threes. But at least with the Denver side, you see, you know, like Porter Jr. under, a couple of big unders, with the exception of that Jokic assists and KCP rebounds.
Yeah, and again, that's scary. There's no doubt about it. Like Jamal Murray at home has been deadly, and he's got the ability to go out and get like 40 real life points, but it's really just not about that. If you can find that minus 145, Caesars has it, but DraftKings has moved to minus 155. Bet Rivers moved to minus 160 for the threes. So you kind of see where this is going. I feel good about the KCP rebounds. I know that's not a popular prop. I know that's kind of just like a peripheral one, but over 2.5 rebounds, again, you're laying some juice there, but this guy's going to be on the court. And to your point before, those are the type of props that I think are the least efficient. These random guys with a random stat. Look at the spread. You're talking about 30 cents on some of these in terms of the books drastically altering that line.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's big.
The difference of that. Correct. The other one I really like, look, I think Max Strus, I understand that it's plus 145, but I think this is worth a half unit to put something on Max Strus going over 2.5 threes. He's going to be a volume guy. I know that he was hovering around those points anywhere from 7.5 to 10.5, depending on, or 9.5, I think, depending on where it closed. But do you notice, right? Like Lowry aside, that's just going to be a Unibet, Bet River, Sugar House thing there. But Max Strus over 2.5 threes, I'm interested in. And then look at that. Duncan Robinson under 8.5 points, a guy that we talked about in our spaces before game 7 about going over the 1.5 threes. And in this case, it's like, all right, well, maybe you get your 2 threes, but that's pretty much it. If you like that, I think both are playable. I think both are fine. I like the Strus one at plus 145, taking a little shot at that.
I'm fine with that. Again, you mentioned, the power of the bankroll tracker and whatnot. When you incur some of these plus money opportunities, they still can be plus EV, and you're going to make money over time. You're probably going to adjust your unit size just to limit the downside, because you're not going to cash those tickets as much. And I think that that's totally reasonable. It's not bad. I know, listen, this is an 8.5, 9-point spread. Denver's at home. I do think Denver's going to start pretty quickly tonight, but even with this game, there are pretty good opportunities, more than I thought, for game 1 of the finals.
Right. And by the way, I have no problem. Is it still at 9? It's still at 9 most places. I have no problem with taking the 9 by all means. I think Miami is going to stick around. Look, I know people are betting Miami to win. I think covering at this point, especially anything over 7.5, is just a realistic expectation. And we talked about this, was it yesterday, about heading into this game and how I don't think the stuff that's poured on them negatively is going to correlate, and the stuff that's poured on positive. Look, I get it. Like, Denver's not an easy place to play, but that doesn't assume that they blow Miami out. Miami's played some pretty tough games and been through a lot in the past.
They have, and they win game 1 in every series, it seems. 6 straight game 1 wins for Miami. Now that's going to end tonight, but
sure. But I think impressive. They can cover that.
What?
I think they can cover that. Now, do you have a side? Do you have a lean on the side or total here?
Not really. I think that Denver in the first half is a pretty good angle. I don't think that the rust is a big deal. And I think that Denver still, again, I know it's been talked about, but I don't think enough. Denver was 34-7 at home during the regular season, and they have not lost in the playoffs either. This team is like bordering on historically good at home this year. They have not been beat in that building in quite a while.
All right. I'm going to give you 3 options. You tell me which one you like the best. Okay. We're not building a ladder here. This is just a solo play. Well, technically we are, but I'm sparing you the process of it. Well, yeah, because I don't want you to hold me to my words where it's like, we're not building a ladder, and that's all you heard. But
okay, that's fair.
Here's what I would say. I'm taking rungs from a ladder and asking you which one you would like to have behind you on your mantle. All right? Like, just if you were to hang it up on the wall.
Yeah, just hang it right there.
Yeah. Now, Nikola Jokic over 9.5 dimes at Unibet minus 143. Clearly the best bet on the board. FanDuel has already moved this to 10.5. So we're assuming that we're betting over 9.5 already. That's locked in. Okay. You've got it. You've got that locked in. I've bet that for you already. It's me too. Me too. Now it gets interesting. And this is what the people have come to hear, Ben. All right. You got it, Real Soldier. You got it, my friend. Appreciate you being a part of this community. Nikola Jokic over 10.5 dimes plus 112. And again, shop. If you can find a better one, let me know in the chat. I'm on FanDuel. Over 10.5 dimes for Jokic plus 112. 12 dimes plus 175. 14 dimes 5-1. You can only choose one.
I would choose over 10. 10.5.
Over 10.5. Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, 10.5. That number's come down a little bit. It was at 120 and it has come down, but anything at plus money there is good for me. The way to act, again, there are ways to do that with the math. Like, it's a distribution of how valuable each additional assist is. When you get into the really high numbers, obviously every additional assist is exponentially valuable. But to me, 10.5 is still a very good number. You're getting plus money. The guy's a walking triple double. If Miami tries to, just to dig into like actual basketball a little, Miami had so much success playing zone against Boston. Yep. If they try to play zone tonight, it is going to end in an unmitigated disaster against Denver. And Spoelstra is infinitely smarter than me. I just don't know if they try to play zone, how that would work against a guy like Jokic.
Yeah, the problem with defending Jokic is that you can't just give him one thing or take away one thing and give him something, is my point, right? Like, you can't just take. We saw that in the playoffs. Phoenix tried to do that. Phoenix tried to take away and let him score. And it was like, that's just not going to work.
He'll score 50.
Exactly. He'll score 50. Now, with that said, I think that you're going to have to do something. And I feel like Miami, as crazy as this sounds, I think like Miami, and this is probably going to feed into your Denver Nuggets first half play. Sorry. Miami is probably okay dancing around the ring for a little bit if it takes a half, if it takes a game, and kind of getting that feel. A lot of people would apply that strategy to the Warriors when they were running through and winning, right? I'm not saying the Jimmy Butler-led Miami Heat or the Golden State Warriors, they haven't even won one yet. But my point being is to what Ben just said about Eric Spoelstra. These guys have been around. This is a Hall of Fame coach. This is Jimmy Butler en route, most likely, right, to Springfield. So they may need some time to figure out how to attack a team like Denver. And that does help both Jokic individually and Denver in the first half. MC's aunt, Ohio, has a Jokic boost to triple-double at plus 200, grading at like 40% EV. I mean, the manual build of a triple-double on FanDuel, if you were to add, of course, points, right? Like Jokic 10 dimes, Jokic. What do you think is a fair number for Jokic to score?
To score what?
Like we'll build an aggressive, just points. His point total is 27.5.
Yeah. So you're saying like building a custom line?
Yeah. So I'll give you a baseline. This is not a playable bet. Not a playable bet. Jokic 10 dimes, Jokic 12 boards, 25 plus points is plus 190. That's not exactly. Your reaction is like, it's probably not even worth. Exactly. I get it. Yeah. So we have to budge a little bit, right? Maybe we go back to assists and we go to 12, but you didn't like the 12. Maybe you just didn't like the plus 175.
I mean, all of these, the problem with these type of bets is you can't find the right numbers.
Would you dabble at 25 plus points, 12 plus of each boards and dimes for plus 385?
I mean, that's a huge game, obviously. It's Jokic. Like, I think what you need to do here is kind of how you have structured it. This is what I would do. I would lock in one of the guaranteed plus EV spots that is beating the market. Over 9.5 assists,
10 dimes.
Over 10.5 assists, something like that. Right. Jokic triple-double if you like that. And then I would take a small amount and say, you know what? Just as a sweetener, just as the cherry on top, I'm going to go with, an aggressive triple double like that, knowing that if that fails, I still have the security of the foundational pieces rather than having that way equal. Cause I don't think those bets are good bets overall. It's tough to find the right line.
You're right. And this has all been predicated on the over 9.5 that we found.
Yeah.
And then built off of that, right? Like you can do that with over. You could do that with Kyle Lowry. Look, we've got over 3.5 dimes for Kyle Lowry. So you're going to have to push that probably to an alt play. Threes, maybe if you can find something like that with Strus, although that's now getting aggressive if you push that to 4 makes. Although, look, 4 makes is certainly possible. Here's something, though, that I wanted to go back to, right? We've got, if you just look at Jamal Murray, and we'll get to some promos here and bounce around some stuff. But let's just look at Jamal Murray real quick. And again, if you have any names you want to hit us up with, then we'll by all means. I voted in the community parlay. Make sure you vote as well. Hit that thumbs up if you're popping in here. Yeah, no shocker at all. The ringer itself is minus EV, so I can't be shocked that they're
taking shots at the ringer.
Come on, man. Like what are we doing here? Going through our top 10. Like the ringer is list. It's like list content, right?
I hear
like,
you.
What are your top 10? Whenever I ask you to Mount Rushmore, top 3, top 5, whatever, that's always in jest.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
I hear you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, top 10 game shows, top 10 this, top 10 that. It's like, okay. And then
enough.
Then like Wheel of Fortune is 1 instead of Jeopardy. No respect.
No, actually, somebody sent me this and I spilled coffee on it before I could even get there to you.
Oh, nice.
But it's basically like a Jeopardy game that comes in cards. You see this? So it's like double Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Have you seen this before?
No.
So fascinating bugs for 1,200. Texas's state insect is this, quote, royal butterfly.
Monarch.
I'm going to have to take that on face value.
I have no idea. I don't know shit about butterflies.
Who sends you a game of Jeopardy and the answers aren't even on the card?
I mean, that doesn't make any sense. The monarch butterfly is the Texas state bug. Thank you.
So you hit it.
Give me my money. How hard was that?
Bucks.
You got world capitals on there? That's more my speed.
The name of this word search game with lettered cubes means bewilder. Famous board games for 1,200.
Scrabble.
Lettered cubes?
Those tiles.
Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't have rung in. Yeah, I didn't say what is a monarch. That's true. And
you did lose.
That is actually terribly, yeah.
Ken Jennings is shaking his head at you in disgust.
Tough scene. Hey, I had my Jeopardy moments already. So
I know. I saw that. Somebody gave it to me. I thought of you and I was like, you know what? Let me bring it up to Ben. And I never did. And they don't even give you a freaking, oh, here we go. Here's an answer. Here is an answer key, apparently. And I'm sure you're right, just to say, but I just wanted to make sure.
I have no idea.
So do you see that with Jamal Murray?
What about him?
You've got a couple of, there are a bunch of unders here. Like 4 of the, and the 1 over makes a lot of sense. You're right. Monarch butterfly, by the way. Not that I doubted you by any means, but
come on now.
Right. You were right. I got to hit you up with a final Jeopardy then. This is it. Final Jeopardy. No way you get this.
Probably not. What's the category?
I have the answer here. Let me find it. But look, as I'm looking for this, the more important thing about Jamal Murray is that there is actually, and this isn't what our tool is supposed to do. So I don't want you thinking like, oh man, I signed up for the week free. You told me about all these things and it didn't happen. I want my money back. That's not what I'm saying right now. What I'm saying is that every now and again, when you find a sport like the NBA, for example, hockey, baseball's a little tougher, NFL, depending on the position, but NBA, absolutely, is you'll find someone like Jamal Murray where there is actually a story that you can see here. He's under his points, he's under his rebounds, he's under his threes, and he's over his assists. So in this game, if that were the case, even if he's struggling to just coasting and coming under these numbers and being effective and all, it would make sense on the surface. And again, Ben, I just want to reiterate, it doesn't have to make sense. But
yeah, they're not.
They're not correlated. They're not correlated. But the result, my point of it is, the intent is not to correlate, but the result, when you look back, happens to be correlation. And maybe it's just the variance or chance of you dropping a bunch of puzzle pieces, and 5 out of the 500 times it actually works. But my point being is, this actually looks like it works if I were to play 4 Jamal Murray props tonight.
The problem with that is that you don't have the ability to look. There is correlation to what a player does and his other stats. Like if Jamal Murray broke the assist record tonight, there's a very good chance that he would go under his point total. That's just a fact. The problem is if you parlay them, the books kill you with the correlation. No, I know. I'm just saying that's where it's tricky. So you can have, you can bet all the props and tell a story, but you're taking them as independent variables where you don't get extra bonus points if it all works like that. But I do see it with Jamal Murray tonight. The goal would be that he's a distributor and he's not active from 3, and that would go a long way into cashing multiple of the best props on the board.
Hey, real quick, where is the Royal Farms chicken conversation coming from? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Royal Farms is. So.
Oh, not. Oh, yeah. Because Shelton's pulling a Tony there. That's that. Now I see. I caught Mike's thing. Royal.
Yeah, we're on Royal
chicken.
Butterflies.
Royal Farms is awful. You can't eat fried chicken at Royal Farms, Mike. What's wrong with you? Okay, but still, like, what we need to do, by the way, is see if we can get Mike to take as the house bets on whether or not you're going to nail this Final Jeopardy question.
Well, what's the category?
Superheroes.
Yeah, I'm probably like plus 800 to hit this.
Okay.
I don't know shit about superheroes.
All right, here's the thing.
I mean, go ahead. You asked me the question, but
if Ben gets this right, here's the thing. If Ben gets this right, I'll randomly give somebody in the chat $50. Okay?
You're gonna be broke with all your giveaways.
But I like me. We hit a bunch of parts. I know from my other lives here before I started betting here that if you have anything coming in, it's always nice to put something aside as a little windfall.
Okay. What's the question?
My windfall. Now it's either give to the government or to the community. So do you have a problem with where the money's going, Ben?
Hey man, I respect the community. We got to hit the like button though. Come on now. We got a lot of people in here. Eytan's doing some potential giveaways. Let's get the likes up. You can answer me the question. I'm going to miss it. And so it could be tough, but I'll give it my best shot. What's the question?
No. Here's the thing. You're right. We need more likes than this. So we have 125 people in the house here. I believe that we can get to it. I mean, we should be over 50. Yes, I understand. We'll hustle game lifestyle. That is my way of trying to give back to the community so that people would not bring up the fact that my parlay of the day is absolutely shot. We need to be at least, like, I can't even give a question out to Ben unless we at least hit 50 likes. I would imagine we can get to 100. Again, I'm giving out $50 to somebody random so long as Ben nails this Final Jeopardy question on superheroes. All right. Yeah. Here's another thing. Like, I'm not even hitting you over the head with a hammer and demanding that you sign up for our free week of the OddsShopper premium tool.
It is below.
Even though, right? Like, I could be a villain, Ben, and say, ha, you need to sign up. No, we're just asking for likes here. That's all, right?
That's right. That week is below, though. Again, we're doing you a favor there. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. That ain't going away.
I know. All right. Will you hit me with this question already?
No, we're still at 45. So we're going to go back to the tool here. We'll work on one promo. All right. Keep firing is right.
Couldn't have been World Capitals.
We need at least 50 of the thumbs ups in order for me to entertain this. All right, Mike. So just Mike, you hit the promos. Let's work on some promos, and I'll keep an eye on this thing. We're going to be here for a little bit. We're not going anywhere.
That's true.
48 likes. Come on, this is ridiculous. We have over 141 people watching this show.
Are there any boosts today? We lost.
I'm looking.
Likes. People are very upset.
I asked for 50. I said I could not even start this process until we get to 50. Okay, there we go. We get a live where you show how to actively use the OddsShopper app. What do you mean by that, Luis?
Yeah, so we do have some evergreen on that, but if you ever have questions of kind of how to utilize it, what I would really say, one, we're happy to go through it here. Two, get into Chalkboard. It is our free community. The guys in there, it's mostly Lofty and Greg. They will take care of you. There's a million people in there who use these tools every day that are happy to help. It's a great group of guys, great community of all our people in there. Hop in there, and if there's anything we can do on the show right now, let us know, because we're happy to do it.
All right, I just put out the most important thing. I got you, Mr. Garcia. We got you, as Ben just explained. I just put out the most important thing for everybody out there, which is this contest becomes void if anybody types the answer before Ben Rasa can speak.
That's a good thing.
So blame it on the rain and anybody else on here who does it. Now you know. All right, here we go. Superheroes. You ready?
Yeah. Literally a terrible. Besides like opera, this might be as bad as it could get for me.
I have confidence in you. On the cover of the 1941 first issue of this comic book, the title hero punches Hitler in the jaw.
Well, so it's either going to be. I'm just going to talk through this. I got three people in mind: Spider-Man, Batman, or Superman. It's probably one of those. Or, no, I know what it is. I know this. It's Captain America.
There you go.
Yeah,
see,
I've heard that before. I've heard that before. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty famous question. What?
Here's the thing.
That's right, right?
It is. First off, it's right. Yeah. And Mike. Awesome, stochastic, Mike is going to pick the winner out here, okay? Mike's going to pick the winner
down.
And what I love about that is I personally have no idea if you knew it was Captain America the whole time, and you
I really didn't
let us down a road of those.
I didn't, but I will say this. That is when you said like 1941, I have heard that question before in my life. And so it's just like, okay. And then it just made sense because obviously, hashtag America.
Unbelievable. Nice job. I had all of the faith. The beauty of it is that was going to work regardless. Like either way, that was.
Well, yeah, if I missed, I was just going to tell you to name a random country. And if I know the capital, then we'll do it.
What's the capital of Myanmar? Or what's the new Burma?
Burma. So you went full Seinfeld on me. The capital of Myanmar is a word. It's like Naypyidaw. How you spell that is beyond me, but I can tell you for virtually certain, it's like Nyapadaw, something like that.
Got it. Okay. Awesome.
You have.
By the way, we just had it. No, I
you just believe me? That's fine.
Yeah, I totally believe. You just nailed Final Jeopardy. Who am I to come after?
Easy game. Capitals are more my speed. Are there any other getting back to reality?
Ralph, yeah, so let's do some promos here real quick. Ralph De La Torre, though, asking, what do y'all think about Martin over 2.5 threes? This was the guy that we talked about right away from the jump. Unfortunately for Martin here, it's all unders. The only find that we have that's actually plus EV that for an over for Martin is assists. It's a little bit of a gap that you have there, but it's something. It's a cent that you're saving, which is definitely something. But everything that we have, my friend, is unders. Ben and I talked about that at the start because it was the time now to fade Caleb Martin according to the tool. So
yeah, and again, just to clarify, when something doesn't grade out as a profitable bet on OddsShopper, it doesn't have anything to do with we don't think that it's going to go over or under this number. It has to do with that the books are unanimous or very close to unanimous in what the line should be, and we're saying the books know more than us because they do. That's the reality of the situation. So it's possible a book will adjust that Caleb Martin line and it will appear as value later in the day. But right now, the market has kind of a consensus on what we're doing.
That's the biggest thing, is trying to find where you can get even that slightest edge. I want to hit some promos up.
Yeah, let's hit some promos.
I keep getting distracted though. All right. Our guy, pardon me. I don't want, probably older than me. I don't know. Probably not. Amax, the only person older than me. FK Coolers in my Discord channel. And again, chalkboard, the thing is right there at the top. QR code. You can sign up. Ben told you it's free. It's an awesome community, as is the Discord. Ben, myself, Lindy, and Isaiah are in the Discord. But if you look at something he said, I like MPJ overs in this series too, right? Just responding to some stuff. I think if you were going to look at, and this is the only futures thing I would look at right now, but if you were going to look at finals MVP, we've seen Andre Iguodala win this stupid thing, right?
Not gonna happen.
It's probably not going to happen, but Jamal Murray is 12-1. Michael Porter Jr. is 131. Look, people said Caleb Martin, leading scorer, game set, all that stuff wasn't going to happen, right? Caleb Martin, Eastern Conference Finals player, like all that. He was there. He was hovering.
And he didn't win the MVP.
No, he did not because of
he
Jimmy Butler.
He
should have, right. But look, I think you can make an argument here that there are only going to be realistically 4 guys, and I'm stretching the 4th, but the 3 guys would be Jokic, Butler, and Murray. I put a small sprinkle on Murray and MPJ to win this thing.
I really don't see it.
You don't think Murray can win this?
Not really. If you can find 20-1, there were 20-1s out there.
No, that's long gone.
I think that's fine, but no, not really. There's a couple problems. Because this is subjective, so you can't get into numbers. This is all subjective, and Jokic got screwed in the regular season in the MVP award. I think that's a real factor, even if it's remotely close. They're not going to give him not the MVP twice in one season. He's so good at the peripherals. Even if he doesn't score, he's going to be involved. So you're drawing to Jokic getting hurt, or Jamal Murray having like 3-game winners in the series. Could it happen? Of course. I think it's a really far stretch. I only see 2 guys that could win this, and Jimmy Butler is not a good bet because it's the same price as Miami.
There's only one guy who has been bet down in this category, and that's the guy that I brought up, and that's the guy in Jamal Murray. I mean, people are not going to bet Jimmy Butler because of what you mentioned. It's just betting the series at this point. Nobody's laying 340 on Jokic. I don't care if you're dumb, like, stupid money that you're laying just to win. But people have been like, Bam hasn't dropped. Caleb Martin, those guys haven't dropped.
Can't win a subjective award. This is not like
Murray can, though. I disagree.
I don't think he can.
Okay. Look,
if you're telling me who's going to be the leading scorer in the series, something like that, I'm all about taking a shot on a crazy guy, because if they have a great game or a great series of games, they win. It's not like, oh, you had the most points, but we're going to just say that Jimmy Butler did. It doesn't work like that.
Okay. How about this? Most threes in the series. Threes in the series.
Now you can open it up.
Okay. So I was trying to soften you up a little bit, but I guess I should have started.
I also can't bet MVP in New York, which is weird.
Well, I can bet it for you. That's fine.
I mean, I don't want to bet it, so it's no big deal, but I hear you.
Finals threes made leader. All right, this is where I'm interested, okay? And I'll give you my order. Porter Jr. plus 240, Max Strus 21-1. End.
Matt, you want to bet Max Strus? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm thinking about it.
The problem I have with the Heat is that Tyler Hero is going to play apparently at some point in this series.
At some point. And
that's going to hurt because he takes a shitload of threes.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. Here's the thing. He has to be making those threes. If you have, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But you also, this is a volume bet, right? So let's say you get 2 games before Hero comes back.
Yeah.
Strus and Strus is, you're banking on that. To your point, and I'm going to build off your point because I think it's the best point in this whole thing about threes, which is Hero comes back. I'm with you and Hero's not even on the board because we don't know when. The one guy I think that could build somewhat of a stock that may not be hurt as much, like Caleb Martin, other guys, you're going to see that hurt. Hell, I think Gabe Vincent, who's 12-1, and Max Strus is 21-1. So I understand that playing time, what have you, but if Strus is knocking down threes before Lowry comes back, you're in a pretty good shot. What's this? The top 10, top 14? Got it.
There you go.
Got it.
I get it. I get what you're saying. I guess my biggest problem is that the first 2 games are going to be obviously in Denver. Denver's going to be a sizable favorite. I don't think Miami's going to play particularly well. So it's just an uphill climb there. I get what you're saying. It's like the Caleb Martin theory. He played so well, he played himself into playing 40 minutes a game. So you don't have to worry about volume anymore with Caleb Martin. I still don't see that happening with something like 3-point variance for the Heat.
Yep, I get it. I get it. So the only other play would be Porter Jr. at plus 240 now. Somebody taking advantage of the Eric Spoelstra attack on Jokic, limiting scoring, forcing passing. If there is any zone, somebody corner threes from Miami that they give up that we should see them give up.
Yeah, I mean, again, Miami's not a good 3-point defense. So, yeah.
Okay. Here we go. By the way, people live sweating my parlay on the Discord as we're doing this show. Not going well. Let me just tell you. Whatever you said yesterday has just got like this fucking.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bring reality back to the show. Forgive me. I believe yesterday we were discussing your like 75% NRFI run, and I may have mentioned that was unsustainable. That's all. I'm sorry.
So here's the beauty of it. We did this Twitter Spaces earlier today. Myself, Nathan Joyce, our guy Andy Francis popped in on this one. You were there, but you were working, so you didn't really speak. But hit both, including the giveaway, right?
Nice.
We're just, I'm just telling you, man. We're on a little roll. We're on a little roll. All right, let's look at this. NBA. We'll go all NBA here. Finals. Jokic 25 plus, Butler 20. Caleb, I'm not doing the Caleb Martin 20 plus. We already have that.
You know what I think we should do though, real quick, if you're game, is to go back to Luis, what he was asking, if we can.
Yes.
Let's just bring
he
up.
Suggested a show with me Monday night.
He what now?
He suggested a show with me on Monday night.
I bet he did. In the meantime, before we green light that, I think we should just go to the tool and just simply run through how we use it, because it's super self-explanatory. And again, the free week is below, so you get a chance to feel it out, to test it out, to use all its bells and whistles, because there's a million things in there. But I think the simplest thing for me when you go to the tool and you bring up the list view is just sort by, whatever category you want. But I think for me, the simplest thing to sort by, Eytan, I sort by EV, expected value. And then the higher that number is, the better bet it is. And the reason it works is very simple. You have a true odds column, and that is showing you what we are saying is the consensus line amongst all the sports books that matter. And then it's showing you the line you can get. And you're going to see that your line is better than the true odds. And that is why it's valuable. It's as simple as that. That is how I use it. It's a market-based approach. And if you want to do this, again, you can just by clicking the premium 7-day free trial. I don't know what else to really say. I think that's the simplest way to use it.
Yeah, I totally agree. You've illustrated that. You go back to the top of the market right now and sorting by EV. I just did, even outside of the NBA, and it resets. You get new looks constantly. Mike Trout to hit a home run on Unibet is our top play. Jose Abreu to hit a home run on FanDuel right there below it. So even above the NBA tonight, I know you all love your home run plays. You get a quick little glimpse of that right there. So you can definitely do that. Definitely. All right. Did you see any other promos that jumped out?
So I didn't love the promos a ton here. I will say there was a FanDuel. I told Rich that I would get this into the show. FanDuel has a risk-free bet on the 8th race at Churchill Downs today, apparently. So if you're betting the ponies, apparently there's a risk-free bet in the 8th race at Churchill.
I guess we're betting that now.
Well,
you've got one.
You got to. Don't you? It's a wide open race. There's a ton of horses in there. It's not really a good race. It's on the turf. if I do bet this race, and I probably will actually, because Churchill starts late tonight, I'm going to bet the 12 horse. His name is Gamer. He's 5-1, so plus 500. Obviously, like any horse, low probability of success. But if you're looking for a horse for that race, Gamer would be the horse that I'd be going with.
All right, so the 12th at Churchill?
Yeah.
All right, let me go on here on my little FanDuel. It's
Yeah.
FanDuel
Gaffleon, Brendan Walsh on the turf. It's a wide open race. There's 2 horses that are sitting 3-1. We'll see how the odds go, but yeah. That's all.
Nice.
Now we can go back to reality.
Hey, I love reality here when it comes to sneaking in. Yeah, no sweat bet. Is that what that is? No, it's not the no sweat.
I don't know. You could take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but if there's a free bet out there, that's the horse that I would go with.
Got it. All right. All right, let's build a parlay too. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, let's see where we can go here. What book?
And yes, capital of Sweden. I got you, my man. Sweden's good people.
What? I would hope so, right?
Yeah. That's one. That's in the circle of trust. There are countries that I definitely don't know. Sweden's not one of them. No, that's for sure. Sweden's good people.
Nothing a ton right now. Oof.
What parlays? Tough scenes.
FanDuel's FanDuel's going to be our best bet, and even then, it's going to be tough.
Okay. All that means is that we just have to be selective.
Okay. So give me a second here. Let me go back real quick. Speaking of being selective, let me go back to Caesars. Yeah. Okay. It's FanDuel. Let's build on FanDuel. All right.
There's really not much out there.
The Jokic is not 21%.
No.
So
that's updating in real time, obviously.
Let's remove that, Mike. Let's remove Sale. We got to remove Bibby. We have to remove it all. We may not have much to do here.
Yeah. Again, I think that I know you would rather build like a 40 leg parlay, and there are days where you can. The beauty of these tools, whether you like them or not, and I know you'll agree with this, they don't lie. Like, there are times baseball was in the afternoon. There is one NBA game tonight. We don't have a ton of profitable spots for like a 5 leg parlay if you're just going today. You know?
Is baseball over for the day?
There's only a couple games left.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that Cincinnati game. Like, there should be later games here popping up, but nothing right now. I mean, look, you can't play a 0 long-term and expect profit. You're not going to lose long-term, but you're not going to make money long-term. It's just going to even out there. So we can't put Chris Sale in there. All right. Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me go back to DraftKings real quick. Let me just check something out real quick. Okay, here we go. DraftKings. Okay. We're going to make this thing work, whether you like it or not.
I just said you can't force it. And then you're like, no, it's fine. We'll make it work. Good luck. I want to see how you do this. You're a wizard.
This is going to be. You're not going to allow me to put a week 1 play in there. So let's take the Bills Jets out. In fact, true. Mike, let's just keep everything let's just take everything but Yoshida and Altuve. All right. Get all that out there. Now we've got Yoshida and Altuve. I've just given you 2 legs. The tool. These are plus EV. These aren't necessarily the best bets you can. But you know what, though, Ben? They are.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it just shows your expected value is 0. But again,
well, we're going to add another leg. That's why.
I got you.
I'm inclined to just add D-Rob and go under 8.5 points here.
You need him because he's the best bet on the board that we have to choose from. And that helps. Again, now you're talking about kind of a parlay that's not going to, if you could run this parlay 1,000,000 times, you would make money on it, but you wouldn't be printing money. You're going to eke out profit. And that's always something that you should look to.
Yeah, this is not like, again, they're saying something is a plus EV parlay is certainly not a blanket statement, but this is a plus EV parlay that you mentioned. I guess it would just be reiterating what you said. So that's fine. That's
no, I hear you though. Like Yoshida, it's just the EVs matter. That's all. Like, the difference between 2% and 6% and 12% is gigantic.
So are you going to play this tonight or what?
Am I going to play the Yoshida Altuve D-Rob parlay? No, I am not.
Really?
I'm going to put D-Rob on the card if I can get that. Under 8.5 at -105 on DraftKings. That's a really solid spot.
I'm just curious. Why are you anti this? Here I am. I build this thing with you, and you defer to me, and then you admit to everybody that you're not even playing it.
Because the two baseball bets are basically a wash. So like I would rather just isolate the best of the
D-Rob?
three and put more
Okay.
money on it, because your expected win when you have a 3-leg parlay like this is much lower. Now your payout is much higher, but to me, I would rather isolate Robinson at a 53% X win and cash the ticket more than 50% of the time and put more money, more units on that than how you're going to have to allocate lower units, higher reward.
I'm just going to add Tanner Bibby over at 5.5 Ks and get me to, well, no, that doesn't even change the EV.
That's what I'm saying. The EV won't change because all your bets are basically zero EV.
It will if I add the Bills Jets.
Yeah. And, 6 months later, you'll have the last laugh. I got you.
I'm in. I'm betting this. All right. Yoshida under 1.5 total bags. Altuve under 1.5 total bags. Robinson under 8.5 total points tonight in the NBA. And under 48 Bills Jets, September 11th, 8:15 Eastern time. That actually bumped the EV up to 5%, Ben.
I'm sure it did. How many times, by the way, I feel like this, you're going to look back and you're going to have like 35 pending tickets with the same under that you've referenced on this show now for like 2 weeks, because you're going to have this bet stuck in OddsShopper for another 3 months. Okay.
No, trust me. I already have an idea of NFL content for you, my friend. That is based on our tool.
I love it.
Trust me.
What did I just tell you in the meetings? I'm all about that, my man.
Yeah, but it's NFL content in June once the NBA's done. Are you still all about that?
We'll see.
See, you lie. You lie to the people.
Hey,
all right, let's
I
work
serve
this out.
people. I had to go I dug deep today on this show for superheroes. That was not a gimmick.
You did. You won a lot of people money. Yeah, we got to find out from Mike before we get out of here, which he will do, as he just mentioned. All right, so the community parlay is done. We'll see. Will you play this?
All right.
Okay, so the Denver Nuggets laying 8.5. My goodness.
That's good. I like that.
Yep.
Did we hit the parlay yesterday? No, you said you missed, right?
It was me, I think.
Okay, so we got to bounce back today.
Yeah, I have no problem there. No problem. I'm going WNBA.
Maldonado. Yeah, well, that was a good bet regardless, yours.
Yeah, I've been absolutely on the right side.
Talk about a kiss of death, what I'm about to say. I have been locked in baseball, of all things. I've had a good run of baseball the last 3 days. I know it's going to come crashing down because it's not my best sport by far, but I bet the Rockies today. Rockies look good so far. This is very useful.
How's Hatton doing in my 6-shooter?
I didn't know you bet a 6-shooter today.
I did. I had an 18% profit boost, and I was getting a little itchy, and I thought, you know what? I took Hatton in, which is a terrible bet, absolutely terrible bet, but I boosted it. Whatever.
Hey, the boost will help
a little bit. It's still a terrible. You're still betting into an awful market with 6 options.
No, you're
Cantlay, Schauffele, Rory, Thiele, and Thomas.
Yeah, I don't have their scores off the top of my head. But I think Warriors are pretty good.
Yeah, that's who I was worried about. So Denver wins right now. That's the big one. Oh, do you remember when we talked about Jordan Spieth being the top U.S. player, and that was parlay with something ridiculous at 60 whatever to 1? Just watch out. That's all. Mark Hubbard and Austin Eckroat ain't gonna last, Ben Rasa.
No, they're not. But Spieth isn't. I don't know where Spieth is, but I'm not too worried about him.
He's tied for second, 3 under.
Oh, good
He's
for him.
behind Mark Hubbard and Austin Eckroat.
Yeah, I saw they posted this morning. All right. Community parlay.
Right,
do you want me to go second or?
What do you mean?
No, we're not doing that.
No,
We can't-
that's
it's-
fine. That's fine.
Those are too
I
dangerous.
need to see what the line is now on DraftKings that I bet. So go
I
ahead.
figured you would be going to like the WNBA streets.
I am. Oh
Oh.
my God. This is down to 5. And I gave this out on the Discord. I think it was 7.5.
Probably moved it.
Yeah, it was Minnesota plus 7.5. I found on BetMGM. DraftKings down has it to 5.5. Oh, I mean, I can't in good conscience give that out. I'm not going to devig this on Penny real quick. So, who do you like tonight? The Colorado Rockies? Like, what are you going to do?
I mean, I wish I could go back in time and give them out on the show because they look fantastic. No, I'm just going to, there's really not that many options here. So I'm just going to do what I normally do, which is just shop the line as best I can. The Astros are minus 146 on Penny. They're minus 145 on DraftKings. Obviously, if you remove the VIG, you're not getting a pure line there, but it's good enough. I think the Astros win the game tonight. They're a good team. They're a solid team. They're at home. I'm not impressed with the Angels. Been picking on them a lot. So I'll just take the Astros at minus 145. Very conservative, but it'll be effective.
By the way, WNBA player props up right now for a game coming up at 8. DraftKings. I'm looking right at them. This is crazy here. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's going to be. Put that in your head, will you? Bookmark that.
I got it.
All right.
I will.
This is something, right? I have points, rebounds, and assists right now. Granted, Alyssa Thomas is the lone dimer, but still, I've got points, rebounds, and assists here. You're telling me that we can't find a little market width? All right. I don't know. I'm saying, Ben, I know you are a skeptic, not a mystic.
No. That's a larger conversation, but
I can't even find an alternate line here.
Why don't you take your plus 5.5? It's down to 5.5 at Penny. It's not like it's still 7 there.
True. 5.5.
I mean, you lost value, obviously, but
that's fine. 5.5. I was going to see if there was they don't even have alts. 5.5 sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
It is the Minnesota Lynx tonight, plus 5.5.
The Lynx. One of the more underrated animals out there.
Yep.
503. We got the Minnesota Lynx, the Astros money line, and the Denver Nuggets minus 8.5. Not too bad.
Not bad at all. And somebody won $50 tonight. Look at
yes, that. Thanks to Captain America.
Hatton at even par. You crumb. What a crumb.
It's a tough course today. Guys are playing
it
real
is.
bad.
It's playing incredibly hard. You're right.
Yeah, it is.
And there's Rory. Ugh, 2 under.
Good. I need Rory to play well.
McCarthy must have faded
many
hard.
other things.
Okay. Benny Hahn. All right. You know, some guy. There's Ricky, even par.
Yeah, all those guys who posted even are fine. First of all, it's an easy cut to make, so.
Hatton's through 14. He's got a shot here.
He started.
He got a shot. Can't lay 1 under. There's that 12.50 to 1 ticket at work. He's going to be hovering all weekend. I feel like third one's going to win it. All right.
Okay.
Eric Lynn, the highlight of my Minnesota sports fandom is sadly the Lynx run, and then our best player won a social justice mission in her prime. Well, you know, people got to do their thing. Maybe the WNBA wasn't paying well enough. Can't fault them, right?
The number generator.
What do we got?
Why are we running this 3?
News God in house.
Okay.
If anything, that's just a sign that we need to pay News God more. Yes.
J Miz, good people.
J Miz. Look at that. Thank Ben. Don't thank me. Now.
No, don't thank me. I literally didn't do anything.
You answered a question.
Well,
right.
I did answer the question. That is true.
And the beauty of it is that you guys out there didn't even see Mike Lawrence whispering into Ben's ear, Captain America, like that John Turturro movie quiz show.
Got the earpiece, folks.
Right in there.
Can't DM me. My DMs aren't open.
You have to DM me on Twitter.
You can follow us on Twitter at Shander Show, at JazzRazDFS. Congratulations, J-Miz.
Please. All right. We appreciate you rolling with us. Big game tonight. Let's make some money. Thank you all. Ben and I will be back tomorrow. Thanks to Mike, as always, for producing. Thumbs up, subscribe. On your way out, we have given you a bunch, all right? Right down to, and not excluding, of course, home run plays right at the start. So sign up, take a week out of your life and play with the tool, mess around with it. Mike Trout now on Bleacher Report is the #1 play on the board to hit a home run. Jose Abreu also to hit a home run. Those are two of our strongest plays. I'll give you one more. Jorge Polanco to hit a home run tonight. That's on FanDuel. All right, there you go. I'm going to play that, by the way. We'll see.